Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. As long as it's all good, we just want to welcome you back to The House That Happened, sponsored by Shuey's Bar and Grill, the only place to be in suburban Etobicoke, where we have a mad patio which is welcoming the summer here for the first show in June of 2023. Hi, my name is Cruz.
And I'm Andrew Milani.
And we're here to talk about the insidious, insane, and iconic things that have been happening in the world of sports as we know it. How you doing, buddy? How was your week?
Pretty good. How about yours?
Outstanding, outrageous, capitalism, considering the first time I've ever been to the symphony. And I went to Roy Thomas Hall last week, and I did not even know they were going to do pictures at an exhibition. It was amazing.
Oh, lovely.
Yes. A lot better than some of the other things I've been seeing going on in the city, and I would be, unfair? We are in Toronto, right, bro?
We are.
Okay, so I think that it would be Toronto-centric if we opened up with the fact that maybe the theme of the show is going to have a little bit to do with ruthless American capitalism, and I'd like to let it be known that we are in a city right now where the Blue Jays have won 2 in a row against the New York Mets.
And 6 of 8 in their last 8 games, yeah.
So that doesn't mean the sky is falling, wasn't it? Remember back there
No.
we had that little roll where we were at home. We couldn't beat anybody in our own division. Well, let's tell the truth about this team. We still can't hit, bro.
No, definitely not.
You know what I mean? Like this team, first of all, what is our batting order?
Well, you got Springer 1.
Okay, well, the first 3 we know it's going to be.
Yeah.
If I see Varsho at 4th again, I'm calling him up personally. I'm going to say, hey, Don, when you played on those great Yankee teams, do you ever guy have Varsho hitting 4th? No, you had guys like Reggie. You had guys like Winfield. You know what I mean? You had somebody that could hit it. Well, who's Varsho? Oh, by the way, he still has the perfect swing for the dome. I really think he does from the left-handed bats point.
He could still be like.
We got a long way to go, but now we got a decent sample size now, buddy. Okay, so let's go back to something I'm going to say, and I'm going to beat the dead horse with this. I was not impressed by the fact that I thought we traded offense to be a better defensive team. And let's say we're on record, we're on tape as saying, you know how much I thought of those guys in the corner. I don't want to say their names because I don't want to belittle them, but I'll get back to them in a moment. So we went to improve all this defense because we went out and got Kiermaier, and we went out and got Varsho. We moved Springer over to right field so that we could have a little bit less wear and tear in his bod. And we had Muirfield to sub those guys. I wouldn't need them, perhaps maybe Bijou, because it should have been Espinal playing second base, but now he's on the DL, so we don't know when that's coming back. My point being is, first of all, at times, and Kiermaier's see the catch he made the other day?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not saying that the defense hasn't gotten, it's a modicum better. I'm not saying that it's enough for me to say that I've sacrificed that much offense to get that much defense back. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I don't think we've gotten the defense we've had. Now we got Muirfield. He's going to be our regular everyday second baseman, and you know what I think of that? With Bo as our everyday shortstop.
That being said, Merrifield is one of the guys that's hitting. So, I mean, you can argue that he could be making up for some of his defensive shortcomings with his bat.
Okay, I'm going to give you that for a moment because I'm going to say this. I'm keeping Muirfield in the lineup because...
Well, you have to.
Because of his bat. Okay, I don't have a problem with that, even though it's a punch and Judy bat, really. How many RBIs has the guy got?
Merrifield?
Yeah, they got 30? No, and he's hitting 300?
21, yeah.
Yeah, okay, come on. How many home runs has he got? Yeah, okay. He's got a bunch of stolen bases, so he runs around real quick when he hits singles.
Yeah.
Okay, and he should be in left field. He's playing on a rail. Okay, yes, he should be in left field. That's problem number 1. So, what I'm saying when it gets down to the crunch, because we're coming up to the All-Star break, and we're going to give them the Blue Jay analysis for All-Star break 2023.
Yep.
Sometimes the defense around second base and shortstop is inconsistent to me, and sometimes they don't call it errors because the ball sneaks through, but it's called positioning.
Oh,
okay?
the lone run yesterday, the base runner got on because of a Bo defensive mistake.
I don't want to beat on Bo because he's our best. Now think about that now that you brought it up. He's our best player. He's our best player every day. No doubt. I don't know what he did yesterday with the call, with the time. Because remember he got called out because
of the brain fart.
Okay, but you can't be doing that in a game like that. What was the score at the time?
1-1.
1-1 in what? The 7th?
Yeah, it was late in the game.
Late in the game, and you're going to get called for that nonsense when there's men on base?
No, that was bad.
Okay, so anyways, Bo, we're not saying you're perfect, but of all our guys, I'm giving him
He's hitting 336, so I'm not going to complain too much about
and
him.
the major league
he's the leader
in hits alone. No, so Bo's our best player. So let's not go that way. He'll never have the ego to go. And you know what he is? He's very good at balls coming in. When he's got to charge the ball, that kind of defense, he's good. When it's going back in the hole or those ones,
Yeah, that's where the...
Exactly. So I don't know what we're going to do because Muirfield's solid coming in for the ball too.
Sure.
Okay, he's not going to win a Gold Glove.
No, definitely not.
Okay.
He's there for his bat. We've talked about this.
Okay, so anyways, thank God we've got Chapman, who's coming back to earth.
Yeah.
So Chapman is going to look like he's going to have his average at the end of the season, which will be a little bit more than average. So what's he going to hit? I predict he's going to have 30 home runs, his first 30 home run season, but he's still only going to hit 250. What's he hitting now?
He's hitting 280.
Okay, so at the end of the season, I'm going to say it again. He'll be hitting 250, 30 home runs, and we were lucky 100 RBIs. But the Toronto press should be talking about him, especially here at the house that happened. His defense is still Gold Glove, bro.
Oh, for sure. He's been fantastic.
Like, you tell me a better third baseman in the league. The guy in Baltimore is good. I should get his name up here. I should get up in a minute. We'll talk about those guys later. He's really good, too, and Devers.
Yeah.
For the Red Sox, he's pretty solid, too. But as a defensive player all around, and Chapman was already, Player of the Month for April. Mm-hmm. Anytime you're Player of the Month, that's huge in the season. There's only 6 of them.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I'll give him that. So anyways, what I'm going to get around to is that even though Toronto is, as we are sitting today, aren't they? No, they're second last place in the American League East.
Yeah, they're fourth.
They're fourth. Yankees are right in front of them, who lost last night again. And who's Tampa Bay playing right today? They're playing Boston, aren't they?
I think so.
Okay, so they're going back and forth. I'm still saying that you have to play 600 at home, and you have to play 500 on the road, and you'll win your division. I'm still saying the Toronto Blue Jays are capable of doing that because our pitching is way better than expected.
Well, and our bats are coming around, too. Brandon Belt's average really cut
Stop
up.
it.
Springer. No.
Stop it.
He's hitting almost 800
Stop
OPS.
And what's he done lately?
Didn't he get a couple hits yesterday?
He might have got a couple. What's his numbers? He got 20 RBIs? No.
No.
So we're paying him what? $10 million or what? Be good in the dugout? Stop it. The guy's saying, you know what, Brandon?
He's had some bad luck.
What? He's a lefty at the short porch at the Dome. What's the guy got? Has he got 9 home runs yet?
He's not a home run guy.
Okay, then
he's
you got to give me
guy.
Okay, so then I should be getting some RBIs. He's an extra base hit guy. He's got some
modicum
of power,
slow start.
Right?
Give him time.
We're 60 games in. Slow start my ass. Come on. Okay, I'm on the search right now. I want to be on record.
It's 162
I'm already
game
on search right now. I'm looking around the American League. I'm looking at Cincinnati. I was looking at Arizona, but they're in the hunt there, which I don't even get. We're going to get up in a minute.
Arizona's that kind of weird team, though. Like, every 5 years, they got, like, a good team all of a sudden. Like,
well, where did this team come from anyway? Anyways.
Out of nowhere, like they always do.
Okay, so I looked at them, but now they're going to go. They're not even going to give us a time of day because they stole Marino and Gurriel. Oh, by the way, let's see where the trade's trading out now. Did we just bring up Arizona? What place is Arizona in?
Tied for first.
Against who?
The Dodgers.
Oh, the Los Angeles Dodgers. What a team. Like, aren't they kind of marquee in the, Ruthless American Capitalistic Society? Isn't that the Dodgers at their best?
Oh, sure.
Come on. So now this is the Arizona Coyotes. You see the Coyotes in my neighborhood? I live in Etobicoke.
I live in Woodbridge. There's plenty of Coyotes there, too.
So I'm out after midnight. I see these guys. That's what that team used to look like. You need a meal. Tails are bad. Now what do they look like? They're starting to look like foxes. Come on. And okay, so anyways, we'll get Arizona in here, but I do have to bring this up in this case. We're wasting a lot of good pitching. And I'm going to tell you this. Here's what's going to irritate me. Bassett, who I bashed the first couple of shows, I'm so sorry. He's not my favorite pitcher, but the guy's economical. I hope, did the wife have the baby?
I believe so.
We don't even know at the house that happens. We're terrible. You know what, Bassett? Congratulations if it's here. It's not. I don't even know is the room blue or pink, or did you pick a neutral color because it's the woke Toronto environment? I don't know.
No, but he's been fantastic, though.
Oh, he's unbelievable. But that's what I'm saying. Now, look at this. And he's a guy that unravels easily, okay? Mm-hmm. God, when we about Bassett, I shouldn't bring this up, but think about the next time he's out. He's like a machine. He punches in, and he starts pitching this way. If it goes, like the other night, it could have gone the other way. It was bases loaded, nobody out. And one of the Bo plays, that screwed it up. So it was looking like, okay, here we are in the first inning. Is he going to blow up? And he found his way out of it, got back into his groove, and is on his way. Okay, so now I'm saying that showed me a lot of moxie from this guy because he's not an off-kilter guy.
No.
As soon as something goes a little wrong or someone makes a mistake, he's not Dave Steve, by the way. Okay, you ever see what Steve used to do? He was the best. I didn't think it was right at the time, but in hindsight, it was great. Like,
what's this?
Okay, the score is 1-1 in the 8th. Okay, say it's 1-1, and Steve's in there. Still in there. He's only had 98 pitches in the 8th. And say it's, what's his name that played shortstop? The guy with the briefcase. He used to run out to second base so they could text him the plays. Latino guy. Shouldn't say that. Anyways, the guy would make an error. Steve would walk up to him and just stare at the guy. Like, you'd visibly, like, he wouldn't do it for like 15 seconds. But he would walk down and he would look at you and pick up the rosin bag, drop the rosin bag, then he'd get back on the mound. But when he was picking up the rosin bag and dropping the mound, what was he doing? He looking at the guy that made the error.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. He used to, and I'm not saying Bassett would do that because Bassett does. If Bassett had Dave Steve's moxie, I'll tell you, this guy'd win 30 games. Because that's Steve's a whole nother level, and Steve never learned how to pitch like Bassett did. But anyways, I'm scared we're going to waste some of these. Look at Barrios yesterday.
I was just going to bring up Barrios. His season, besides those like first 2 starts, he's been fantastic.
Hey, listen, I'm in the playoffs in my fantasy league. Oh, by the way, who are 2 of my starting pitchers? Ghostman and Barrios.
Oh.
Yeah, people say I've got a lot of pitching in my fantasy league, but I'm only just in a playoff spot right now. I'm winning this week, but that's another story for another day. What my point is this. Okay, you get a Barrios start, a Ghostman start, or a Bassett start. They're in the 8th inning. The score is tied. Okay, what's going to drive me nuts, bro, when Bo does one of those bad plays at thing, or Murphy's in the wrong place, or what happens is there's a little bit of miscommunication at times between Kierman and Varsho. They both want to make the big play, and they're looking for the other guy, and that one little pause is Gurriel letting it go over his head anyway. And I'm going to want Gurriel's bat instead of Varsho's at this point anyway. You know what I'm getting at? So that's what I'm getting scared about, is that I don't want that defensive lap to kill a start for a guy. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
I mean, well, look at Gosman's season last year.
He's won 4 games this year. Look at his numbers.
No, I know, but like, remember last year when like he was the unluckiest pitcher in baseball?
What, he's not this year? Look, what is he
I
won?
I mean, his numbers are a lot better this year.
That's my point.
I know.
He's already pitched 75 innings. He's 4-3. His ERA is 2.76, buddy. He's had, wait a second.
His walks plus hits per inning, 1.12. That's a great number.
Out of 12 starts, he's had 9 quality starts.
Yeah.
The man's got 4 wins.
So is Bassett. He's got 9 as well.
That's what I'm saying. But, I mean, at least you can say he's got 6 wins. Okay? He's got 6 wins.
Fair enough.
Okay. And you know what? Look at Kikuchi's got 6 wins, doesn't he?
Yeah, with only 3 quality starts.
That's what I'm saying. You don't think that he's already has, like, Ghostman already doesn't have bad luck? Come on. You know what I mean? And he's our ace now.
Oh,
I was
just going to bring that up next.
Okay, so you want to lead into where we're going with this? And we're not talking about Jenny Craig right now, okay? Yet. Okay? We're not talking about Jenny Craig yet.
You know what's funny? You're the only one talking about the weight. Everyone else that kind of, like, everyone kind of...
you know why? Because it's not politically correct.
No, but everyone's saying, like, going out of their way almost to say, like, he's the same weight, though. Do you not think that's true?
Listen, I did not see the unicorn being in my driveway led by a leprechaun. Stop it. Look at the film. Look at the guy. And I love Manoah. Come on, let's wait a second. Alex, if you're listening to me, I don't want to say that because now what's the word they say on those stupid women shows? If you say about the woman, she wore the dress, it was the wrong one, but you don't tell her, like, you should never wear that dress, woman. You look bad, like that woman talk, which I don't even know. You know, I don't know what they say. But it's the same thing when you do with a guy. So if you say to the guy, you don't know anything. I think he's to lose some weight, buddy, or go down to Buffalo. You know what I mean? Like, if there's something wrong with his mechanics, and sometimes what your mechanics is does.
If you're definitely go down to Buffalo. I think we have to have this conversation. You kind of like didn't want to talk about this last couple.
No,
because
I was defending him. I said give him 15 starts. Does he have 15 starts yet? No.
He's at 12.
Okay, so we give him 3 more starts. Now listen, I don't know what happened the other night, but that wasn't a bad idea. He got 4 innings. He only gave up 2 runs, and Schneider said, "You got to sit down." That's old school managing. Because you know why? We're scared if you go to the next inning, you might blow up.
Yeah, you're going to fuck it up.
Oh, exactly. So, by the way, let's go look at Manoah. Bases on balls. The guy's thrown 35. The guy's only pitched 57 innings.
So, I was on StatCast this week, and I was just trying to look at, like, the location of his pitches, trying to see, and, like, his fastball command is so bad this year.
And it's the same speed, though. He hasn't really lost his speed. That's why you know it's mechanics. Like basically, what it's like. Sometimes he's a mile an hour faster or a mile an hour slower. But does that matter?
No, that happens.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. But so where is the ball going? He throws a 94 mile an hour fastball, and freaking our short buddy, who I can't name his body either because people get mad. Kirk bounces up, and he's got to stand up, and it's almost over his head. Like on some of the, those away fastballs I'm always throwing? That's mechanics, which means what? You got too much weight in your leg, so you're pushing off too hard. You got too much around the waist, so your arm's not coming around right. I know guys that have pitched since I was kids. One of my buddies should have made the majors, and he did it. And they said, all it takes is you go out in the winter and you work out. And you work this muscle out a little bit too much more than you go to throw. It could affect your mechanics for a while. So I'll give him 15 starts. That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give him 3 more because he was a Cy Young candidate last year.
Oh, yeah.
He was what? He's 24 years old?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what happens. His last 15 starts, he wins 9 games and has 12 quality starts. Then we sign him right then. We sign him to a check for 3 years. And it goes, but look what, no, then he's going to be so I want the money that ruthless American capitalism will work the other way.
Oh, yeah.
He knows he's going to have to work harder to get that money back, but he's going to take the guaranteed money up front. You know where I'm going? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense to you? That's what the Pittsburgh Pirates are starting to do, and I'm thinking that's not a bad idea.
And Pirates aren't looking too bad this year.
Nah, they're falling. No,
you think so?
Yeah. They look at, let's sample size. What, they're in second place now and fading?
Half a game back.
Half a game back, yeah. But
they have the best run differential in that division.
That doesn't mean anything. That can be catching up real quick. Do you think so? Come on. Like what is their last 10? They're 6-4.
5-5.
Or 5-5. Okay, that's
same as the team in first place, though.
What's that?
Same as the team in first place.
But that's only because they played us, because that's a weak division, which just tells you. What's that say about, we got to get back here before we go on to talk about our Toronto Blue Jays in this way. We'd still be almost one of the best teams in the majors if we were in any other division, because there's only 2 divisions that are really, really scary. No, maybe 3. National League West, National League East, and the American League East, because the other divisions are all like
National League East is...
No, you got the Mets in Atlanta, you got Philadelphia. They're all scrappy teams, right?
Yeah.
But they got Washington. That's
and Miami.
No, but Miami's doing a scrap. Miami's playing 500 ball.
For now.
Well,
I don't know. Like a lot of those
if you're going to give Pittsburgh credit, then you got to give Miami credit.
Fair enough.
Okay, right? If you're going to say that, because what? They got the same record.
But like Philadelphia, their record's nothing to write home about.
But they're coming over injuries. They're getting pitchers back. They're doing shit. Like, we'll do that all-star break analysis of the whole league and where we think they should be at, so to speak, because we don't talk about other teams, because we're in Toronto. So you think I give a flying fuck about the Chicago White Sox? No. Okay, so, because sometimes...
They used to be a team that used to...
What's that?
You were kind of a cheerleader for them last year.
I was, and then I see this year and I go, and Tim Anderson's a bum. Like, what happened to that guy? I got him on my fantasy
Jackie?
team. Stop it. No, I did. I always liked the White Sox better than I liked the Cubs since I was a kid. Maybe he's an American League guy. That could be it for my Detroit Tiger days. But that's another team I want to bring up from my sleeper team this year to sneak in the back door is the Detroit Tigers. Look at them. You see where they are? And that's a shit.
They're still under 500, though.
Doesn't matter.
Minus 60 run differential.
They're 3 games back of Minnesota. Does Minnesota look like somebody that's going to... Is Cleveland going to right the ship? That's the question.
Yeah. I mean, Minnesota could sneak in there, though. But, they're just going to get their asses kicked in the wild card round.
You never know. It's a one-game thing. Tampa's not going to be around. Anyway, my point being is this. If you look at the Toronto Blue Jays right now, who are 32-27, their big thing is their home record, which is 15-10.
600.
Okay, it is. And now their away record is what? 17-17.
Yeah, 500.
That's on their way to winning the division, and I think that they're going to do it if they maintain the pitching that they have. And because hopefully we got Rua coming up, and we got the other kid down in the minors. But I want to bring up something before we leave the Blue Jays that you brought up, and I'm going to push back on this hard now. I think that the Blue Jays are going to have one of the best bullpens in baseball by the time the season's over. And as long as they don't realize that Jordan Romano has to be the closer. He has to go sit down. He got the save last night, but look at the other night, the game he gave up the run. Okay, is that closer shit? That affects my fantasy team, okay? So let's take a look here. Now, people, let's be serious.
How is this pushing back against me, though?
Because you questioned our bullpen. You said, with the bullpen thing, and then we said the starters are okay, but you questioned our bullpen and what we're doing. And
I question the bullpen?
Yeah, you go check the tape. I'm listening. I go back and check the tapes. Go back and you said, how do we use a bullpen? Because remember you were talking about
I was a little pissed off about some of the usage.
Okay, so now...
Jimmy Garcia has been pretty bad this year.
Okay, so no. Listen, I don't know how guys become closers. I don't know how the guys become closers.
What do you mean you don't know?
Okay. Where did Jordan Romano come from? One day we said, "Dear Santa Claus, would you deliver us a closer, please?" And we opened up the box. Oh, there's a Jordan Romano.
I think it's just circumstance, isn't it? Like you have like these like.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So now, what did I say? And I'm not stuttering. I said I believe that the Toronto Blue Jays will have one of the best bullpens in baseball by the time the season's over.
Okay.
Okay, and this is what I'm going to tell you why. Because sometimes I think bullpens are only good for one season. Because the next season something goes haywire and you got a bunch.
Well, yeah, you don't know.
Okay, so let's go look at the Toronto Blue Jays right now. A couple of guys that we didn't even mention when the season started because we had Garcia. We got Swanson, who I'm still going to say, when we're in the 7th game of the divisional championship game, the guy comes out to close the game is going to be Eric Swanson.
Well, and he came to close the game last night.
There you go. Why is that?
His first save of the season.
Okay, why is that? I'm not okay, and I've been go check the tapes.
Oh, I've been pro this too.
Okay, Cruz is going there. So now I want to mention 2 names that nobody's talking about. Well, the only we couldn't talk about him because he was down in the minors and he was grooming himself to be a closer.
Okay.
Is Nate Pearson.
Oh yes.
So look at Nate Pearson now. Okay.
Well, I think we could see something similar to 2015 when. Remember, like, Aaron Sanchez and Osuna came up, like, late in the season?
Yes.
Could be kind of like that situation.
And I'm liking that because the other guy that's going with him, we've had him for a while now, but he's now getting his role. He was a little bit injured, is Trevor Richards.
Oh, yeah.
So that, now you know where I'm
He's
going,
He's been pretty good this year.
Yeah, take a look at his numbers. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying. So I'm bashing. I'm not want to bash on the Blue Jays. My thing is this. I mean, I got to be consistent. I always say, pitching and defense is going to win the division. 600, 500 is going to win the division, and quality starts. That's the gospel according to Cruz, learning it from like Earl Weaver, Sparky Anderson, blah, 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 blah. So I'm saying this. The Blue Jays cannot afford to blow quality starts with silly things happening in the defense. Now we got a catching issue. How long is Jansen going to be out? Do you think that Kirk can be our everyday catcher and swing the bat every day? That's ugly. And the guy coming up from the minors, I hear he's okay, which is going to let me say one other thing because I'm talking too much is, why did we let Marino go?
Oh.
Varsho Gurriel for Marino. Varsho Gurriel. Remember when we first heard that trade, we tried to justify it when he had his cute little swing to start the season. We go, oh, this could be good. And he runs really fast. He runs around Mario. You know, Super Mario. He runs like Super Mario. He goes like Super Mario. Next time you see him run, think of Mario.
No, I'm laughing because it's true.
He runs like Super Mario, swings like Super Mario. Super Mario, I've never seen him hit. And he does a lot of good things. I've never seen Super Mario.
Mario has played baseball, though.
Does he?
He go-karts, he plays golf, he plays tennis.
I've seen him golf. He's a good golfer. Yeah, I know he's a good golfer. I wish I was that good. You know, but no.
He's a 3 handicap.
Okay, so now listen. Okay, so guess what? If we go, let's look at it, and I'll shut up after this. Go check Marino and Gurriel in Arizona. And like I said, did I already say this on the air? Did you see the color of Gurriel's hair this year?
Oh, yeah.
It's the same color that Indian red on Arizona's uniform. It's kind of cool.
You can't say Indian red.
Can't say Indian red?
No.
Why?
Indian red, just think about it.
Did I say something off color? I meant Arizona red because they're the Diamondbacks. Isn't that Diamondbacks have something to do? Oh, that's snakes.
Snakes.
I don't want to go there. Better shut up while I'm ahead. Okay, you know what I mean? Okay, you can't say that anymore?
Well, because, like, it's... Think about, like, when people, like, refer to your, like, skin color.
Okay, so what do you... Okay, okay, I'm black, so I wish I was a little blacker, like, you know those blue-black Africans? You can't say that anymore either?
Blue-black Africans?
Yeah, they're so black,
I would not say that.
Why?
Why?
I'm black. It's just the way it is. That's beautiful. Ever see those old paintings from the 60s? With those like really cool mod pictures that have like Miles Davis album covers. Mm-hmm. Those are beautiful. So
I wouldn't go around saying that.
Okay, anyways, it was a Freudian slip, and if I hurt anyone's feelings, so what? That's a shout out to Miles Davis and one of his classic songs, by the way. In any event, that's not what I meant. I mean this. And sorry, Mrs. Milani, I'm really not like that. Okay, how you doing today? Okay, in any event. I'm going to say all year long, and I'm not going to start, and I started a while ago, and you know it, and I'm going to beat this dead horse is this. Giving up Gurriel and Marino for Varsho, we got fleeced. I don't care what anyone says.
Looking like a bad trade.
You know, and I don't care how much defense has Varsho improved on us to make it worth its while. Okay, we got rid of Teoscar, and he's not doing that good.
I mean, if the dome is hold on, well, if the dome turned into more of a pitcher's park than we think, then maybe this is a better deal than we think it is. What?
Say that again.
If the dome is more of a pitcher's park than we think, which we talked about before.
You think it's becoming a pitcher's park?
I haven't seen it become like this big home run box that we thought it was going to be.
Because people are over swinging, which is another show we're going to do it. Those stupid analytics. If we had a little bit more, what's that stat?
I don't remember this being a problem last year, Cruz. That's all I'm saying.
Because we had a different lineup. We had more guys that had power. We had Tapia, we had Gurriel, we had Teoscar.
Tapia wasn't a power guy. Come on.
He had 12 homers. Part-time.
Fair enough.
Okay, and he didn't even have full-time at bats. He had 12 homers. Remember, he had another guy with stupid hair, but I think that's another reason he got him out of town. Think about the dynamics here. And you know me, I'm not saying the only bad thing. I thought was worse.
But besides Bichette, all our guys and I guess
they're
Chapman
shit.
too.
They're all shit.
All their numbers have gone down basically.
So if they get back to their average and we have the quality starts we have, we should still be able to catch Tampa Bay and win the division. That's what I'm hoping. But look at that, Tampa Bay's hitting. They got one of the best hitting lineups in the year, and some of their guys I've never even heard of. And now they're
that's Tampa Bay in a nutshell.
There you go. But the guy we go to it now. I forget his name. That outfielder on Tampa Bay. The guy's having a crazy ass season. He's got 40. He's a MVP candidate. His name should roll off my tongue.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Any event, we'll worry about that later. Mike, we're supposed to have guys there.
Yeah.
We're supposed to have guys that do that. Do we? No. You know what I'm saying? So what my whole thing is, we'll move on for this because we're taking a long time with the Blue Jays, which I think we should because it's going to be the heart and soul of a lot we talk about because the summertime is here.
all this summer.
Exactly. I'm going to be on record as saying this. I'm really going to believe that the Gurriel Marino trade is going to be a bust for us, number one. Number two is I'm a little scared of the infield defense being cohesive enough that they're going to make that error at the wrong time in the wrong game and make me lose my shit. And number three is this. I'm scouring the major leagues right now for a left-handed power hitter to put in the lineup before the trade deadline. Why should we wait till then? Let's go look for one now because that's our most obvious need.
So what position would you play the guy? Like what position
I don't care if the guy carries a water bottle. If he can hit 270 at the Dome and knock a couple out of the park, that's all we need because the Brandon Belt Varsho experiment with Biggio is not working.
Are you talking about Randy Arozarena?
He's one of the guys. That guy's, look at his season. He's an MVP candidate.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And his defense isn't the best, by the way.
No.
His defense, we're not going to talk about that, but
he plays left field, so
that's why he's in left field. So, I'd get over it. That's my...
him and Wander Franco should probably be considered the MVP candidate,
he's another guy, too. And then he's playing infield.
Yeah, shortstop.
Yeah, so he's got to be, too. But I think that Arizona is going to have more because I think his runners in scoring position and some of those other...
power hitter.
But Franco's nothing.
He walks a lot, too.
What's that? Yeah,
he walks a lot. He's got a 400 on base.
Because what they do is in big situations now is they walk the guy. Mm-hmm. You see him? He's not no little boy.
No.
When he comes up to the plate, he looks like he's going to do some damage. I think he's learned how to control. But you know what it is? Why we were talking about? It's funny you bring him up because this guy looks old school swinging. I don't think of bat angle. What's that bullshit analytics?
Launch angle.
Launch angle my ass. So there's supposed to be a certain launch angle that get you out of the Dome. You know that, eh?
Yeah.
Varsho's supposed to have that launch angle. Where, did he leave it in his lunchbox? Back in Arizona. Oh, I know what he did. He left it in Gurriel's locker, and he's using it in Arizona. You know
what's funny? Shatkins, they messed up. They had a miscalculation with this too back in 2017.
Really?
Remember the DH? I'm blanking on his name now.
Who, the Jays?
Kendrys Morales.
Oh,
he supposedly had a great launch angle for the Dome, too.
Oh, and what did he do?
Nothing. 15
minutes. He hit a couple big home runs. Remember he got a couple big hits late in games? And then what was he? Overpaid bomb.
First of all, just never pay a guy to be like a full-time DH. That's a bad decision.
So, but I'm saying now my next show, until we get to the next show, and then we'll leave the Blue Jays at that. Manoah, we still love you. Alex, I love you. My middle name is Alex, too. I get it. I don't want to be bashing on you. And we didn't even bring up the Japanese gentleman. We're still hanging in there. I want to be politically correct. Actually, I don't really care, but I don't want to be sounding offensive. Kachui, keep doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? Yep. He's got his 6 wins. He's going to be okay. But I'm going to come up with potentials for the next show. A left-handed bat with a bit of power that we could probably get for. I don't know what we're going to trade for him, though. I think we've got enough pieces. I don't want. You know what I'm worried about? I don't want to give up any of our pitching because pitching is too fragile. And our bullpen, and I mean that. I think by the end of the year, we're going to have one of the best bullpens in baseball. If we use it properly, they rotate it around now. So like last night was a good sign. It wasn't Jordan Romano's time to come out and get the save. It was Swanson's. I think that's why I like Atkins and Shapiro. They're baseball people. They do it 8 hours a day or 16 hours a day. I'm just a guy that goes to a warehouse and then shoots my mouth off on the weekend. And I'm seeing that Romano, who's on my fantasy team, and I love the guy who's from Mississauga, I believe, went to high school out where my kids went to. I love you, Romano. I don't want to hit you, but he's not the atypical.
Or no, he's from Markham.
Is it for Markham?
Markham.
I thought it was Mississauga. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We love you, Romano. We know you're going to get us more saves, but he's not a big guy either.
No.
He's not. Swanson's bigger and stronger. You know what I mean? Yep. And now when we got Nate Pearson, we got Trevor Richards. They'll get Garcia will get better because we won't overuse him, and we're not even getting to your buddy Pop. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know, we should get him in some more innings, but those guys seem to be coming in on like the cleanup, the sloppiness times.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I want them to come in a more crucial situation. But do you agree with the Richards?
I like where the bullpen's going.
Thank you very, very much. Guriel, come back. I hope you look around too next show. Let's go look for a left-handed power bat before the trade deadline.
We'll see.
Speaking of deadlines, it would be, what would you say, inapropos if we didn't talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs, their new GM, and deadlines. What's the date today?
It is June 4th?
Already?
So
that means you've only got 26 days to do what, bro? I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I'm done with you Leaf guys. You know what, can I say this one thing too, and then we'll discuss where
let's not beat around the bush. We got 20 some odd days to decide what's going on with the Big Four.
So you make your second step backwards. So Habs can make one step forward.
Well, hold on.
Because your first step was
nothing to do with
Dubas.
the Habs.
We're going to get to the Habs in a bit. Because the house that happens, we keep tabs on the Habs.
Hold on.
Wait.
So it's all about three camps with what to do with the Leafs.
Okay.
You're either trade Marner, you're trade Nylander, or you're keep the core four. Or core five, really. Let's be real. Like, Riley should be in that group.
Should be. You keep the core five.
Yeah.
I'm here. So we agree?
No.
Oh, at the house that happens, we got issues already. You know what? I'm not defending the Leafs no more, bro. I was with you guys. You won a goddamn playoff series. I took heat on the street. Cruz, what's up with talking with the Leafs like that? Man, you a Leaf fan suddenly? Nah, I'm not. And I hope you take 2 steps backwards because the Montreal Canadiens will be the next team that wins Stanley Cup from Canada. That's where I'm standing as of today. Okay, but continue. Give me those 3 camps again.
Trade Marner.
No.
Trade Nylander.
No.
Keep everybody.
Okay. I don't know who you're going to get going, and it's a salary cap issue. Everyone knows this. Okay, we know that your thing is so. I don't even know how to say the guy's name. It sounds like Treliving, Treliving. Is that like the shampoo I like to use? Isn't that the same Trey whatever? I use it all the time.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. There's this.
His dad's the Boston Pizza guy.
So he's been spoiled his whole life.
Not true.
Okay, so anyway, do you think he's the right guy for the job?
Yes.
What and why? In what respect? Because of his experience? Because it's a short window and they got to get this done?
Well, it's his experience, number one. He knows what's like dealing with a Canadian market.
So
and he's known what's like to deal with your top superstars, basically like being against like salary cap and wanting to leave.
Okay, so I want to compare the last 5 years of his wheeling and dealings to Dubas's last 5 years of wheeling and dealing, okay? Calgary missed the playoffs 2 out of 3 years. Now, you're going to give me other reasons why they do it, coach being one. Okay, whatever. Okay, their number one guy that he couldn't get along with or something didn't go wrong is now playing in the Stanley Cup Finals for another team. Dubas had more winning seasons over the last 5 than this guy has. His draft record is better than this guy over the last 5 years. And what's the worst trade that
Dubas also had a lot more to work with the Leafs.
In what respect?
Everything.
What respect?
Think about how many
they were back to beginning.
Resources.
Okay, so he's been with Calgary for 8 years.
9.
Okay, 8-9 years. So back then when he joined Calgary was pretty well the mess that Toronto was before they were making the playoffs and Shanahan came in. So there you go. So we got Shanahan's been here for 8. Okay, he was there for 9. What has Calgary done those 9 that we have? Now Calgary's only won 3 playoff series?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, Toronto's only won 1, but if they made a conference final appearance? No. 1 second round appearance, or is it 2?
Calgary was like 2 or 3.
So that's what I'm saying. They may be 1, but they haven't gone to a conference final in the last 9 years, have they?
No.
Neither is the Toronto Maple Leafs. What team is in better shape right now? The Leafs or
Toronto.
Calgary? There you go. So you took the guy from Calgary with the shittier record last 9 years to the better guy who's going to go to Pittsburgh and come piss on your team come playoff time.
Well, there's a lot of owner meddling in Calgary, though. We know that.
Okay, so we're going to find out afterwards. Okay, so I'm not knocking the guy. I'm just saying that I think that he was a marriage of convenience, in my opinion. He's got vast experience. Come on.
Yeah.
The experience factor alone, being knowing in the ins and outs, the agents, because I think the agents are the scumbag because all they do is promote that ruthless American capitalism bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because you know where I'm going with this. We'll talk about our boy in a minute. But do you really think he's the right guy? So what are you going to do? So what would you do? That's your core 3 issues? I think your number 1 issue is this. No, you didn't even bring up Auston Matthews.
Oh, I mean, number 1 is to sign him. Everyone knows that. That's an obvious. That's a given.
Okay, so are you going to sign him?
100%. They'll give him the money.
14-4 against Cap? That sounds like
that's a thing.
14-4 against Cap. I said 14-4 against Cap. That sounds like a song. We could work that out. And they got no defenseman who's going to play goal. No, I think you got the goaltending thing is going to be fine. Do you think they're going to get him? Because I think that's what I'm hearing, eh? They signed Matthews.
14.
They're going to be around 14. Bro,
so it sounded like.
Can I say that again? 14-4 against Cap.
Top 5 player in the game. You got to keep him.
Oh, I love the guy. Listen, I've completely turned around. Can everyone know it? I cheer for players, not teams. So screw Toronto. Screw you, Maple Leafs.
You don't cheer for any teams.
No, right? only my teams. Do you see my shirt today?
Detroit Lions.
I got a note on this today. I got a note, but that's later in the show. In any event, just want to say this. I think Auston Matthews is definitely, I think after Connor McDavid, you could argue about who's the second best player in the league.
Sure.
You're going to bring Pasternak up. You're going to bring now Kachuk's back in the
I don't think Pasternak's a top 5 guy.
Isn't he? On the Boston guy?
Top 5?
I heard that some people said he might be better than a Matthews. I thought they were nuts.
No, come on.
Okay, so who else?
That's a bad take.
That's what. But he's the number 1 scorer? Was Pasternak this year? He was number 1 scorer.
No. McDavid.
No, but he meant on Boston. He was the number 1
of course he was the number 1 scorer on Boston.
Okay, so you're on record as saying you'd rather have Matthews than Pasternak.
100%.
Me too. Okay, so who would be the second best guy in the league?
I would say McKinnon still.
Ooh, you go to him a lot, don't you? And
yeah,
I don't.
I like McKinnon.
I should start liking him more because he's a fellow Nova Scotian. He's born in Nova Scotia.
He is.
You know that.
Same town as Sidney Crosby.
There you go. That you know what that I don't want to say nothing about Scotia. I haven't been there long, but never mind. That's a great place, Cold Harbor.
Yep, Cold Harbor, Nova Scotia.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place to be. But anyways, I'm saying that we haven't heard enough about it, and Auston Matthews is now golfing down in Arizona. He's home, whatever he's doing. But here's the question here. When they did those post-game talks and people said all those nice things about Toronto, Dubas was still the general manager. Can I say that twice? Dubas was still the general manager.
That's all of a sudden going to change everything?
I don't know. Money changes everything. 14-4 against Cap.
They'll give him the money.
They're going to get 14-4, bro. That's a lot of money. And guess what? He doesn't move for 5 years. And I'll take the 5 years.
As a Leaf fan, you're just praying that next year the cap finally goes up.
Oh, you better hope it goes up.
It's going up like $1 million next year. That's
so
it.
What? The projection.
That's what I'm saying.
But the projection was now between now and next year. They already missed the projection because they thought it would be a $7 million jump by the time it came to the 2024-5 season. Oh, that's still away. That's still 2 seasons away, right? Because it's the end of 23.
That would be like the first season of Matthews' extension.
Yeah, so that's what they're saying. But that they said it should be going up with it. But they said it would be a $7 million jump then. I can't see it. It's only jumped, what, $2 million last year? It's going to jump
Nothing,
5?
Not even. It's because the players, they're in debt. So I think they're still paying off that, like the escrow shit.
Oh, that bullshit.
Yeah.
That nonsense. Bad.
So they're still in debt. That's why the cap's only going up $1 million.
So that means the agents and the lawyers won again.
Yeah.
Ruthless American capitalism. Remember that, people. In any event, I'm just saying this. They got to keep him. So the thing for me about the Toronto Maple Leafs is this. I'm just saying that I don't know how. I want to know if, like, I don't know. You see more online than me, and I'm picking up more sites where I go and read what it is. And I hate some of them because, you know what, they say something, you read right away, and it's a total rumor.
Oh, 100%.
I hate that shit. That's why I don't go online so much. I'm old school. When they put it in the newspaper, it's credibility because they put out a piece of paper, so you just can't. Online, you can just put out there that Andrew Milani is sleeping with Giselle Bundchen.
Right.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, we don't know.
Sources say.
You were in the same city, weren't you? You know what I mean? Andrew Milani and Giselle Bundchen were seen in L.A. in the same month. Perhaps there's something going on here. That's what I hate about that little online shit that you guys scroll every day. So, you know what I mean? So when I see those rumors, I don't like that. I want to deal with the facts, and the facts are this. Did Toronto try to get Bertucci at the trade deadline, and Dubas got freaking stopped?
I don't think so. That sounds like a complete...
Okay, so then why did he say a tougher guy would be the San Jose guy than... The O'Reilly guy. What's the guy that went to New Jersey? T.O. Meyer.
Oh, yeah.
So did he want Meyer over Riley? They took Riley over Meyer. That's another rumor out there. Who made that decision?
That ended up looking okay because Timo Meyer in New Jersey didn't look good.
No, but I'm saying at that time, who would you rather have had? Like, let's be honest. If you're the trade line and someone said you're going to get Riley or Timo Meyer, what would you want? Who did you want?
Well, I mean, there's a difference. But hold on.
Later, but at that moment.
Let me speak. There's a big difference between like what we know and the information that these GMs had. The Leafs may not even been in on Meyer. We don't know that.
Okay, so that's my whole point here, and that's why I did that little soliloquy about the ridiculousness about Andrew Milani, Giselle Bundage affair nonsense. That's what I don't like when I scroll on those little things on there, and they say, and then I realize, it's just rumor bullshit. So I'll go to the paper or a more credible source to say what's going on. There's been some talk around, and that's why I like Elliot Freeman so much, because he doesn't say anything, and he says everything.
Right.
He's Mr. Innuendo. And I love that about him, because then all of a sudden, 6 weeks down the road, that innuendo quietly raises itself to the top. And he's a couple of times in his thing about the Toronto Maple Leafs, he's piped in, maybe they would have been better with Theo Meyer. And what did he just say? And I rewind the PVR. And if you're listening, sometimes I'm listening to the thing to just catch little things.
Well, you know what that is, though? That's like that's like his sources. That's their, mouthpiece,
well, it's the same thing with Wilbon, and the same things like Stephen A. They say, and you know what I can't say? As soon as they say that, there's a frickin' bushfire going on. You know what? But because they're on TV, their personalities, they got to protect their sources. Yeah. They got to protect the agents. Because in my belief, the agents are they're cockroaches now in my life, because what I'm going to get onto is not just the mess that the Toronto Maple Leafs are in. What do you think they should do before I go on to my next little spiel, where you know where I'm going to go, about contracts and rumors and putting forth what's a little letter there? Let's cut to the chase. Why hasn't Cole Caulfield been signed yet?
I don't know. You're the Habs guy. You should tell me.
I'm pissed. Because the agents have said, let's wait to see if some ruthless American capitalist fuck will put out a contract to see that Montreal's got to match it. You know what I mean? That stuff. So all that does is jack up the player's salary. And is the salary cap going up?
Barely.
Okay, so my point is this. We're getting artificially inflated player contracts without the actual product increasing the money to justify paying these yo-yos that kind of money.
You guys are going to have a lot of cap space, though.
Thank you. But I don't want to give it to, I don't want to go the Toronto Maple Leafs way. I don't want to look at it in a couple of years and say Suzuki and Caulfield.
That's the league, Cruz.
I'm not going. Those guys are under 6 feet.
Remember how we celebrated the end of the guys taking the hometown discounts in Boston? This is happening league-wide. This is a pattern.
Okay, I know that. So I'm going to say I want to grow my team a different way. I want to go with six defensemen. I want to pay 6 defensemen $5 million, and then I'll go from there. I don't care about my goalie. I don't care if I have Connor McDavid. I want to start with that, and then I'll balance it around, because it's showing on the teams the last 5 years in the NHL, and they ended up winning Stanley Cups. What do they all have in common? They had a bunch of crazy-ass defensemen that clicked at the right time. And that's probably why we're going to have no repeats in the NHL.
You guys are still a little bit far away from that in Montreal.
Stop it. We got a lot of guys
over 60.
Who
are your 6 guys?
We're going to talk about that in the fall. Okay? We'll talk about that in the fall. We're going to get there, because I don't want it's the same thing with other things. You can't say nothing until they play a down. Same in football. They haven't played a down.
Hockey, you have a pretty good idea of who your team is. The Habs have 8 defensemen signed for next year.
Exactly. And how many of them are under 26? 5.
There's 4 of them on here.
Should be 5.
But are we
Who
really?
Are the guys over there? Edmondson, bye.
No, he's not. He's 29.
Okay, so yes, I'm saying.
Jordan Harris, Justin Barron, Caden Gooley.
He's going to be fine.
Jonathan Kovacevic.
He's going to be fine too. Look at his size.
Okay, let me find that.
Look at his size.
But he's right at 25 though.
So he's had all those years we've been growing these guys.
He's 6'4".
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's what I'm getting at. Okay. Oh, and by the way, I'm building the go-kart. I've already ordered the rims for the bandwagon. I've ordered the rims for the Logan Mailloux bandwagon, who is going to see the commissioner on Monday. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yes, they came up on the scroll. Logan Mailloux is going to sit down with the commissioner on Monday, and they're going to slap him on the pee-pee for being such a bad boy. And then he's going to play for the Habs, and he's going to be Rookie of the Year. Or defensive rookie of the year.
There's no defensive rookie of the year.
Well, something. He's gonna make the all-rookie team or something all-rookie. You heard it here first, because we keep tabs on the Habs in the house. That happens. Look at the size of our defenseman. There we go. How big is Logan Moore? He's 6'2". Yeah. How big is Aberjacki? Yeah, let's keep going.
Oh, yeah, he's another guy that's under 25.
That's that's what I'm saying. So I'm going to the John Alexander.
But you're also stuck with Michael Matheson, Joel Edmondson contracts.
Bye-bye. Only got one more year to deal with those guys. I think Matheson's 2 years, though, right?
Matheson's 3.
Oh, that's the ugly one. But I think we're going to go Edmondson.
Edmondson's got 1 year left.
What about Savard? Savard's already...
He's got 2 years left.
But I'd keep Savard, because you got to have...
Savard's not the problem. It's Edmondson, Matheson on the left side. I'm like, oh, that's kind of ugly.
Okay, so one of them's going to get
injured. Because that's the thing, too, is I feel like a lot of these guys are right-handed that we're talking about here.
Okay, but...
Aberjacki's right-handed, right?
Yeah. But Logan Mayo's left-handed.
I thought he was right-handed, too.
I thought he was left-handed. I can't remember.
That up. No, he's right.
Okay. We'll work that out. I just like all their sizes. They all can skate. Okay, so now, which is going to be your problem. We alluded from the real issue here, which is the Toronto Maple Leafs and what they're going to do, because we still got to talk about the finals, is I think that they should keep the core five. Who are you going to trade? You're going to trade Marner?
Yeah.
At times, Marner's
he's so frustrating in the playoffs. You cannot keep that around.
Okay, so what are you going to do? Why don't you hire someone to protect him?
With what cap space?
Then so now you're good. Then you know what? Good. Trade Marner. Okay, and then we'll get him at the trade deadline. And when Montreal beats Toronto in the conference finals, Marner will get to score in overtime. That'll be so cool. He went to San Jose. He had a bad season. He got mad. He's frustrated.
You guys will desperately need some
and then
guys up front.
We'll get Marner 2 years from now. We get Marner at the trade deadline. And he rediscovers his stroke and beats Toronto in the conference finals, knocking Matthews off the puck, getting a breakaway, giving it to whoever the guy we draft this year. Our number one pick last year. What's his name again? And he scores a goal, and we go on to the finals, and you don't.
Okay, we'll see.
There's a lot there. Do you really? I hope. You know what, Guy? I really hope that in my lifetime, because I'm getting old, that we see a Toronto-Montreal conference finals.
That'd be cool.
Wouldn't it not be? I would love that so much, because I know we're going to win it. That's just the way it's going to be. I know that. So it would just be nice to see all you little Toronto nice people have a big problem with superstars, and you can't find the tough guy to protect them, so you're not going to be going anywhere next year in the playoffs either.
We'll see.
All righty. What did you think of last night's game, bro?
Oh, fantastic. That was some of the best hockey I've seen in a while.
Oh, me too. And you know what? I'm wondering now, because they were really talking about the layoff might have affected the rust in the game.
100%.
Did you think it had any effect on it?
I mean, Florida had trouble scoring, especially their top guys.
Oh, yeah. Okay, maybe the touch around the net. But I thought the pace of the game is what satisfied me.
Oh, sure.
The pace of the game, pardon me. Both goaltenders played amazing.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? The only thing I thought was a little bit weird, and I'm kind of cheering for Florida, but it's hard to cheer for a bully sometimes. Because at points in time, they were deliberately seeing if they could just...
Kachuk, Bennett are like the worst.
And Reinhart was right in there, too.
Gudis right there,
They're all in on it. The whole and even Barskov was a little bit freaking out of his norm. He went through the center a couple of times and made sure people are normal there. And he's not usually that type of guy.
No.
But he looked tougher than usual last night.
Even both the Stahl brothers, same thing.
Oh, that's what I mean. Yeah, Eric Stahl was up to we're this close. There's no rules now. He scored a beautiful shorthanded goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not long.
To open the game.
You know what I mean? And not only that, was crazy. Those Stahls guy got those big strides, eh?
Oh, yeah.
All of them. They get that stride going. I wouldn't say they have speed, they have stride, right? That's what you call it?
Yeah, I guess.
Because it takes them 2 or 3 steps to get going, but once they're going, they're move. That was a beautiful play last night. And then Mark Stahl, too. Both of them would score. Both of them are contributing. Eric Stahl's your fourth line guy.
Yep.
And killing
you take it.
And killing penalties.
Yep.
So do you think that last night's indicative of the old adage that Florida's going to win game 2?
No. I said Vegas in 5, so I'm sticking to that. Vegas is going to take care of home ice.
So they'll win both games?
Yeah.
So I'm going to say this then. One of the things about the Stanley Cup Finals that's got me intrigued always is when there's a team at my age and you realize there's a whole bunch of teams that haven't won championships. And when it gets to the point that they're winning one of those championships, you go, is it cool, or do I like dynasties, or what's my take on it, or blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm going to get back to one of the things that it seems to be my personal theme of the show today, which makes you think is not Vegas one of the capitals of ruthless American capitalism?
Of course.
If they win, do you think this is the beginning of a dynasty in Vegas? They got the right management team.
I lean towards no, just because how hard it is to get dynasties going in hockey.
Okay, so they've been here around
but
5.
On the other hand, this has not been something that like they just showed up a couple years ago. This has been building for 6 seasons now.
Okay, and they've been they missed the playoffs once by the skin of their teeth.
And they've been in the conference finals 4 of those 6 times. Arguably, they should have been in there 5 times because there was that second season where there was that 5-minute major they got against the Sharks.
Right. So you're saying now, really, they're there. They've been now 4 conference finals
out of their 6 seasons.
That's George McPhee, baby. That's George McPhee. Even he's president of operations. Remember this: that Washington Capital team that won the Stanley Cup a few years ago. That was George McPhee's team.
Yes and no. Like some of the pieces he brought in there, but he couldn't finish the job.
No, well, because they didn't have the patience. That's all. Because remember, Washington was like Toronto. Banging on the door.
Yeah, but he kept making. But remember, we went through this one time where he kept bringing in like bad, like there was like a string of like horrible trades he made. The Martin Erat one. Where he traded Philip Forsberg.
Okay, but I got it. But at the time, they didn't look bad. It just
they looked bad at the time because Martin Erat's numbers with Washington. Look at them; they're terrible.
And he was on past his best before date, too.
He was probably, like, right there.
Yeah, okay, so whatever the case.
Nashville has a tendency to do that, just make out like bandits in trades. They did that with Tampa recently twice.
Yes, agreed. But on that note, that's what makes me think that maybe Vegas has already started a little bit of a dynasty and we're not respecting it. The fact that they got to 4 conferences
kind of like what Tampa Bay did.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to say that Tampa Bay was at least a mini dynasty. In respect to how hockey goes.
Well, I mean, that like
years in a row,
you could say, 1-2. Yeah, they were like a contender for like 10 years.
Oh, of course, that's what I'm saying. So, and where do they build from the 6th defense? I'm going to keep hammering on that the whole time because that seems to be the recipe.
Although, like Florida is kind of breaks that a little bit, don't you think? Because like a lot of those guys.
No, because they were President's Cup.
Fair enough.
Last year, so they had like their struggles at the beginning of the year brought in the guys that they thought would change the dynamic of the team. Took them a season, obviously, and Pittsburgh screwing up. Like, that's one of the great things you think about. If Pittsburgh wins a game against, who is it, Chicago?
Chicago or Columbus.
And
the Chicago game, they got spanked like 5-2.
Exactly. And just think about the butterfly effect or whatever you call it.
Nonsense. Speaking of Pittsburgh, I mean, that team, I don't know what Kyle Dubas is going to do there.
Okay, so
he's got to completely rebuild that blue line. They got to find a new goalie.
Okay, so that's interesting we brought this up because guess what? Kyle Dubas is now considered a George McPhee in the sense that he could not finish the job. Correct?
Sure.
So what happens if he goes to Pittsburgh and he pulls a George McPhee with the Pittsburgh Penguins? Then that means that Leafs have got a tough team to compete against every year just to get to the conference finals. So I'm saying that when they trade
to get to the finals,
we're going to go with Mr. Mullany's theory that we signed Matthews for 14-4 this cap. 14-4 against Cap. And they trade Marner, and they take 2 steps backwards. So the 6 Montreal defensemen will have it easier taking steps forward. Now, I'm saying that I think that Florida is going to win a game at home or 2. And you know what? I hope they don't do it with goonery.
I mean, that seems to be the one mode that they have. It's like this. It's a switch. It's goon or off.
Oh, yeah. And they're not gooning because they're a good skating team.
Sure.
But when the going gets tough.
Oh, they're dirtbags. They're dirtbags. I got time like Kachuk, Bennett's the worst. Reinhardt. I got time for none of these guys.
You know what I think they do? They have a little thing that sharpens their elbows, like in the moose or the bull in the
the Bugs Bunny cartoons.
Yeah, do they have one of those things not for their sticks, for their elbows? Because when those guys, they seem to have going by their elbows are always. Watch the game tomorrow night.
Yeah.
When the Florida guys are skating, their elbows seem to be up higher than the Vegas guys. Just an observation. And who had all the penalties last night?
It was Florida.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And they better be careful on that, even though their penalty kill is good. And I think if Vegas had a better power play, the game could have been 6-1 last night. Mm-hmm. But Vegas' power play is just atrocious. You know what I mean? Like, what do they have? They had 2 power plays and they never get a shot and goal.
Yeah.
Now, everyone's going to say that's the tenacity of the
goalie?
No, the goonery of the Florida Panthers is out there swinging their sticks. But if Florida does win the Stanley Cup, it'll be because of Bobrovsky. He will definitely, in my opinion, you got to give it to him. Even with Tkachuk,
MVP?
MVP.
I think they're going to give it to Tkachuk, honestly.
Why?
If they win.
Why? I think that's
the big
ridiculous.
Goals.
Big saves. The big saves. Bobrovsky was maybe the best player on the ice last night at times.
In a loss.
In a loss. And he might have been the best player on the ice. But then a couple of those goals, they let him hang out to dry.
I agree.
Like two of the goals, what are you going to do? Jesus wouldn't have saved those. Come on.
So who do you got? Who do you got in this series?
What series?
So you're saying it's over already?
I don't know. I'm. You know what? I don't like to be a fence sitter, and I hate to be cheering for a team that are a bunch of schmucks at
Vegas
times.
in 5.
Okay, the house that happens is going to say Vegas and yeah. I don't know. I'm a fence sitter because we're gonna talk about the other finals in a second. So it makes me even more, but we'll discuss that in a different way. I think Vegas is going to win too. I don't want to call Florida out. I think Florida's going to do something where they're going to knock like a Jack Eichel on his ass or one of their big guys. And Stone is supposed to be one of their instigators, and Stone is small compared to the guys on the Florida guys. So I think they're going to use their size. Not that there's not big guys on Vegas, because their defense is big.
Sure.
And they cleared them out. You know what I mean? Nothing against. I think Vegas, their signature is they protect their goalie.
Yeah.
Very much so. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I'm going to say that I'm tongue-tied for the moment. I got to see 2 games. Maybe what it is. But, before the series started, I was going to say I had a weird feeling Florida wanted to win. I just think that Vegas is already in the league, what they've been doing. They can't say it's totally capitalistic because everyone's playing under the same cap. Mm-hmm. Agreed?
Yep.
But they seem to be how they sent Fleury out at the right time.
Yep.
They prefer to get him, but Fleury would have been that much of a hit against their cap. Who's the other forward that they shipped out to?
Pacioretty.
There you go. You know what I mean? At that particular time. So you got to give credence to the management for being aware of getting rid of those salaries, which help for them to pay for those 6 big dudes that are playing on the back end, including Pietrangelo. And he's playing great hockey.
For sure.
You know what I mean? He's their leader. So you're saying still Vegas in 5?
Vegas in 5.
I'm going to say I don't know how Florida's going to do it, but I'll just say I'm cheering for them. How's that?
Yeah. So there's a few firsts this spring. So this is actually the first Stanley Cup final between 2 teams in the Sun Belt.
Exactly.
Actually, never mind. That's since 2020. I read that wrong.
So who are the other ones at the time? Was it
2020?
Was it Dallas and who?
Dallas, Tampa Bay.
Dallas, Tampa Bay, yeah.
But that was in the bubble. That didn't really count.
Okay.
And first time 2 number 8 seeds from one city both went to the finals from their respective cities.
I'm glad you brought that up. That which will lead us into the NBA finals. I thought that's an amazing stat, eh?
That really is.
You think about it.
When else does this happen? That's incredible.
No, and not only that, from that state.
Yep.
With the worst,
from not even state, the same area.
Okay, what's even
Miami to Sunrise, Florida. It's an hour drive, not even.
Not even. Okay, it's less than that. Okay, it's like driving across the city, the GTA here. But here's another issue.
Yeah, so that might take you an hour.
Yes. Okay. In any event, my point being is this: from one of the worst fan bases in the world. One of the worst. No. Let's look at this seriously.
It's true. Okay, Miami, it's
college is a different thing.
Well, I was gonna say with Miami sports, it's ground roots. It's very baseball. Other than that, it's a football city.
Yeah,
it's a football city.
Yes,
But ground roots, baseball is big there. But for whatever reason, they don't show up to the Marlins. Well, the team's bad, but.
Yeah, but you know what it is? It's all those teams like if it wasn't for they say the Snowbirds, Florida, what is it? 10% of the season tickets in Florida are Snowbirds?
Yeah, makes
sense. I heard
sense.
something like that. About 10% of their season ticket base is and then everybody that flies down there, they're Canadians, they're always flying down that area. They show up for the games.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And what did I say? I know people that were in the Toronto games for Tampa Bay who said that it was and they went to a Florida game and they said at both times it was at least 20 to 25, maybe 30% of the crowd was cheering for Leafs. So I find it even more interesting, which I give credit to these, is the management. Mm-hmm. The management of both teams. Because remember this, you're talking about Pat Riley is the manager of the Miami Heat. This guy is legendary in all sports now as a executive in the world of sports. Come on. Think about it, right?
100%.
You know what I mean? And I'm not saying Miami's going to win, because what you're taking, I say Denver's going to win that.
Denver in 5.
No, I think Miami will win 2. They'll scrap their way to 2. But one of the things that you got to realize too is that, and I thought about this earlier in the playoffs and how they're going to get away with it. And I'll give Eric Spoelstra credit for designing or thinking up some kind of different defenses. But Denver is size-wise alone much superior.
Oh yeah,
to Miami. I mean, Michael Porter 6'10". Yeah. Aaron Gordon is 6'10". Jimmy Butler ain't no 6'10".
Well, and look at Bam Adebayo ain't no 7-footer.
No, he is 6'10", and he's your big guy that's got to go against Jokic, who we should give a big shout-out to.
Oh, yeah.
Big, what did they used to call him on Jalen and Jacoby, the stretch mark 5, they called him or something?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, like just something insane, but they did it affectionately. But let's give a huge shout-out to Nikola Jokic, who is now going to prove he's going to be one of the best big men of his era.
Oh, 100%. And, like, we all know if Denver wins this series, they're going to give him the Finals MVP.
Which I'm going to be ashamed because Jamal Murray was their clutch guy. I never want to underestimate a triple-double.
Yeah.
Never. Okay? And I don't think that, and let's stop anything about the pad statting and all that other bullshit. But Jamal Murray at the time's got the biggest shots on this team. You look all.
Well, it's kind of like when the Raptors won the Finals. Like Kawhi was MVP, but like Van Vliet was the guy sinking the clutch shots, right?
At times, and so is Lowry. Both of them got the clutch shots, even though Kawhi's had the clutch shot of the ages. You know that. They'll never end.
That didn't happen in the Finals, though.
True. Conference Finals, though, wasn't it? Yeah.
Second round.
In any event, I just want to look at it this way: is that this Denver team is they've been going for the last couple of years. This isn't like a fly-by-night team. Too bad Jamal Murray got hurt because they haven't been the same. And the Joker's never had a playoff this good.
No.
And I'm happy for him because his all-around game has to be respected. Like, he throws some of the best passes to open guys. So big shout-out to Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. because these guys are putting down shots.
Yeah.
And they're getting their opportunities. And here's one thing that I always talk about that Denver is playing too is, and Miami has the reputation, let's not sleep on the Denver defense.
No, definitely not, especially because of their size.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
But they're starting 5. Those guys are so solid. And then they play like...
They only go 8 deep, really.
Even like their number 8, he's like Christian Braun he plays under 10 minutes.
Yeah, but so that's what I'm saying. So they're top end heavy, but as long you know what I mean. But people say, does that mean they're an injury away? I think that they're just so good the way they play. They don't play at extremely fast paced.
No,
so they're not killing each other. They're positionally well, and that goes back to their coach. Mm-hmm. And who's their coach? Mr. Malone. This guy's been around forever, bro. People don't even know about him. You know what he was like? He was like who was our guy that's on TV all the time? Sam Mitchell. At one point in time, they were like considered the same type of coach. I think Sam Mitchell already had a coach of the year. Malone didn't have yet. But they were pluggers that knew the game. And if anybody, I'm going to be so happy for him if he wins a championship because I don't think he's ever had a championship anywhere, has he?
No,
and which will be a huge shout-out for him and his coaching allegiance and the people that have come out of his coaching tree because he's got a few around the league.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what are we going to say? I'm thinking Denver 2, maybe 6 games. But I think they'd rather win it at home, maybe 5. I don't know. Game 2 is the biggest game in basketball, it seems to me, more than hockey. Mm-hmm. Because it's a smaller roster. People can be more dominant. So at any time, did you think that Denver was going to lose that first game?
It was getting scary in the fourth quarter towards the end. But
so they got to within, but they got to within what? 5.
Yeah.
They didn't get closer than 5. To me, that means no, you didn't. You got within 3. That means you're within a shot. They never got within a shot of tying the game in the fourth quarter, which just tells me the diligence of the Denver defense and how solid that lineup really is. Aaron Gordon's vastly underrated, by the way.
Oh, 100%.
Vastly underrated. He defended LeBron. He's all over Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, well, that was a big problem. Jimmy Butler just could not. He only had 13 points game 1.
Couldn't escape Gordon, but I expect him to have a better game.
I think so, too.
I expect Lowry to have more minutes in game 2. Mm-hmm. I think that they may open it up for him. Which brings us to this.
Now, I got to ask you quickly, if Denver wins, is this the start of a dynasty?
I don't think so, because I think there's too many other teams around that can take a swing at them. I think that they had everything in place at the right time.
Well, we've talked about him and like Jokic and Jamal Murray getting going. Like that has the potential to be like a great duo.
I just want to say one thing before we talk about the finals. I want to get back on, and that was the conference finals. And all the talk that came out of there was so much yapping, it almost overshadowed getting into the finals. For example, is LeBron going to quit? No, he's not. His son's going to USC.
Yeah.
Come on. What does that mean? Because he's staying close to home. And you know I went to USC instead of UCLA, I believe, because the car ride's shorter. Wherever LeBron lives, Southern California, the college is closer. Come on.
Well, they're both LA schools.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, let's go to the most convenient LA school.
Oh, why not?
You know what I mean? So let's not talk about is LeBron coming back. And we're talking about dynasties. What if Kyrie Irving, who sat in the front row of what? Both home games.
Yep.
Kyrie Irving was sitting where? Where did he get those seats? Off StubHub?
Oh, we know there's a sign-in trade coming between Dallas and the Lakers.
Whatever the case may be.
D'Angelo Russell enjoyed Dallas.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But he's still under contract too, right?
I believe so.
Wow, is he ever going to be a pass-around?
Let me check Hoops Hype quickly.
And we're going to check that out. And the other point I wanted to make, because it takes away from the finals, is this. And you know what? Everyone knows my hater status. I brought it up enough. We don't have to go there again. And I'm not, my heart bled purple piss when Boston lost game 7 at home, shooting 42 threes, bro.
Oh,
they made
horrible.
What, 9? Remember I said who wins in the paint? The people that take over the paint will win the game. What happened? Miami shot a neat 9 for 18 from 3. Boston jacked up 42.
Oh, I said
this. It was so bad. Again, another one of the worst game 7s. I think maybe the 10 worst game 7s I've ever seen in my life. The Boston Celtics have probably been part of 5, and Larry Bird is pissed I'm saying that. Because back in the day, game 7s with the Boston Celtics with the Larry Bird crew, those were games.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But not these. I think the best game was Tatum. Didn't Boston take Cleveland to game 7 when Tatum was a rookie?
Yeah.
Something like that. Like that was a better game 7 than what we're seeing now. That was garbage. You know
terrible.
What I mean?
And D'Angelo Russell does have 1 year left.
So then he's trade bait.
He's trade bait, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's gone. So you think it's going to be a sign and trade for Kyrie? Is Kyrie like a foregone conclusion in LA?
I think so. I mean, him sitting courtside there. Come on.
I thought he got the tickets from StubHub. I'm sure.
He's definitely not staying in Dallas.
I don't think so, which is going to make Luka Doncic be what, a bigger bitch than he was before?
How does that make him a bigger bitch?
I don't know. He didn't learn how to give the ball. You had Kyrie Irving on your team.
I mean, I was not a fan of that trade from day one. They gave up too much defense.
Oh, I agree. There's no doubt about it. That affected them, in which their biggest mistake was letting Jalen Brunson go.
Oh, yeah.
Let's cut to the chase on here. And look, his contract would look really good. Look, all Cuban had to do is put an extra $1 million on every sentence, on every part of the contract for Jalen Brunson, and he still would not have been overpaid, and he'd been better off with Dallas and better off with Lukic. So that's an organization that took, 2 steps back?
Dallas, yeah.
Just like the Toronto Maple Leafs are doing, 2 steps back at that time. You know what I mean? I'm big on, in my old age, I'm really thinking that dynasties are a bad thing because it gives you more to talk about. It becomes more of a national presence. Because what I want to know is, when this is all said and done, I'd like to check the ratings for the NBA Finals and the NHL Finals. I wonder where they're going to be. First of all, you got 2 Sunbelt teams, so people that are serious about hockey aren't even watching.
Yeah.
Number 2 is the delay to get to the finals is always going to kill your fan base if they got to wait. You know what I mean? Even with the NBA one, they're lucky it went to game 7 because that stretched it out long enough so people were still watching.
Sure.
Agreed?
Yep.
So you have that 10-day thing. So where's your national audience? Denver is a big market team, don't forget. It's just that they don't appear to be because they're Denver.
They're Denver, yeah.
They're Denver. But they got to be, Denver's a big, big city. Miami speaks for itself, even though a terrible fan base.
Sure, but Denver, though, when their teams are good, though, they become that kind of national. We've seen it with the Broncos, we've seen it with the Avalanche, you know.
The Avalanche. Well, I think the Broncos more, but the Broncos have been celebrated because the way they.
No, but come on, Avalanche early 2000s, late 90s, they were must-see TV.
At times, I guess.
What do you mean at times? They made it to the conference finals every year.
And those Detroit, Colorado series were classics at the time.
Yeah.
I will admit it. I've never been a Colorado fan. I was pissed.
Oh, Joe Sakic's my all-time favorite.
Oh, is he? I got pissed ever since the day that St. Patrick went to Colorado. I was never the same.
Fair enough.
I was never the same. I was pissed.
That's the big moment that changed your team, I think.
Oh, we've never been the same. Bunch of idiots are doing that kind of stuff, but that's another talk about it. When you think about that, and is the market going to be good? It's the same thing when you're talking about Denver, Miami. Now let's go to the NHL. We're talking Vegas, Florida.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the same market.
The only people that are excited about that one are TNT because they finally got a final.
Oh, that's true. Agreed. But I mean, like, who's watching in Florida? The snowbirds, and most of the snowbirds have gone home now. Yeah. They're back. They're back in Muskoka.
I mean, I'm sure the big sports fans are kind of just like tuning in, but like, are they like super excited about it?
No, but you know what it is. I don't know if it was. I do believe, and I like them so much. That's why by the way, I'm a huge PTI. It's my favorite show. And one of the things they said is, what happens with these leagues is, you and I are doing a podcast. Why? Because we love sports. We want to talk about it. We want to do this. So what the NBA and the NHL should be glad is that there's a there's a huge contingent of people like you and I. We're going to watch it regardless. We both watched the game last night, did we not? Yeah. I got no Vegas love. I got no Miami, no Florida love.
Neither do I.
There's no, what are those teams? The best thing I like about the playoffs is George McPhee, because I used to drink with his brother a lot. You know what I mean? And he'd give me it was really cool at the time, because his brother would come into town and his brother would say something about, you're going to be a trade cruise, because his brother had you ever hear the McPhees talk? These guys got radio voices.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so in any event, he'd say little things about this or that, or, he talked to his brother on the phone last night, or he'd come into the bar with some cool Washington Capital gear.
Oh, yeah.
I never took any of it. I mean, people did. It was great. It would be great for a place like Shuey, but he'd come in with like jerseys or like promotional stuff that they use at the arena and stuff. He'd just walk into the bar with some of the coolest.
That's cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was badass. He'd come in with all this gear. I never took none of it. I was such a hardcore Hab fan, I couldn't even touch it. Wouldn't that my old lady? No, you're not a Washington girl. Leave that shit alone. And they had Ovechkin. Oh yeah, like some cool shit come in. Like
Cruz, you could have had some cool stuff for the collection.
I kind of regret it now, but at the time I was so hardcore.
I just collect other team stuff. Why not?
Oh, you should have been around. Like, I'm talking, like, they even had ladies replica jerseys. Like made for advance, that he came in because he knew the bartenders. Right. I'm not going to say about Paul McPhee's drinking habits, because we had some good drinks together. But in any event, he would bring stuff in and the girls would get it, or really cool T-shirts, or it might have been like some promotion that they've had in, like it was Star Wars night.
Oh,
or,
yeah.
Like those kind of promotions teams do. And he'd come in with the shirts from those nights that would look really cool and hand them out. I never took a thing. That makes me hardcore. That's what I think. You know what I mean? Regardless of the fact that I...
Does it make you hardcore, or just kind of...
I don't cheer for other teams. I only got certain teams to cheer for. My life is short.
Just because it doesn't mean you have to cheer for them.
I watch the game because I like competition. It's not the reason why we're watching the finals.
So, Cruz, why do you have an LA Kings jersey?
What's that?
Why do you have an LA Kings jersey?
Because I got it on sale and I thought it was cool because they're not wearing them anymore.
But you won't take a free one. Won't take free
I got that
Washington
one myself
stuff.
Because look, see, I created that. Did you see the number on the back?
Is it a number more of a theorem?
Well, we'll call it a theorem. But in any event, see, I created that because I knew. Now, do you ever see that jersey anymore?
The LA Kings one?
Yeah.
No, I love it.
That was badass. Iconic. So that's when I knew when it was going away. I said I better get one. Going to your theory of collecting cool shit. Yeah. But I cruisy-ined it. I made it my own.
I still don't know what that means completely, since you're passing on awesome Washington stuff. But
it had nothing to do with me. That idea, I had no say in that. I came in the room. Nah, I don't want that garbage. Hey, what? LA's going out? I was an NWA fan.
Okay.
Eazy-E rocked an LA King hat.
Okay, fair enough.
That was cool. Like back in the day, that's what I always thought was cool. You had to be back there. You were too young. When all of a sudden the NWA showed up, which was pure trouble as soon as they started, which I didn't think so. I loved the album. I thought it was a great rap record.
It's a great album.
Oh, no doubt. And then they came out, and there they are with all that LA gear. But what were they all wearing? Not black and white. And then that's
black and silver.
Black and silver. That's why that when Gretzky came to town, they went the same color as the Raiders. That all went down. And then when the NWA guys started rocking it and they had the LA Kings hat on, come on, the Raiders you knew.
Yeah.
That was a gimme. But when that
was part of the reason why they moved back to Oakland.
Oh, there you go. You know what I'm saying? But that was a good period, though, because one of the things we're going to do in the future, let's not discuss that, coming up in the very new future is coming on in remembrance of James Brown. The House That Happens will be presenting their top 10 running backs of all time.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. That will be coming. But before we go anywhere farther, we'd just like to end on anything else you want to bring up before we end the show there.
Big shout out Formula One Spain Grand Prix this weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want me to spoil the end for you.
No, we'll talk about next week.
It happened. Someone won. Someone came in second. Someone came in third.
Okay.
That's all.
Good. Because I do
the only thing I will spoil is everyone finished the race.
Everyone. Oh, interesting.
For 3 races in a row now. No, sorry, never. 2 of the last 3.
2 of the last 3. Everyone finished the race.
Yep.
That's amazing in Formula One. I want to shout out to Formula One because I took a little, can I shout out to BOH and my son who gave me, and you know who you are, free, good round yesterday. But that's another story. People got dissing me in my family about watching Formula One. Well, listen, as you get older, you learn things. I like competition. I like what it's all about. I like its world ruthless capitalism.
Oh, yes.
It's on the next level. And so I just want to say one thing before we go about what's going to happen in when we're talking about capitalism and how the world works. And I'm going to say one thing. I'm going to start with this. I'm not going to stop being a John Morant fan, bro.
I figured as much.
Thank you very much. Now, everybody knows how much of a John Morant fan that I am. Okay? So the next question is, when you're on a national TV show or halftime, and Gary Bettman did his in the playoffs,
yep.
and Adam Silver did his singing. And what did Adam Silver said? We're not going to discuss the John Morant situation during the epitome of our season.
Sure.
Why is that?
Oh, well, we all know they're going to throw the book at him.
Why?
They said they've uncovered some new information.
Okay. What kind of information could they uncover? Is it worse than Gilbert Arenas bringing a gun into the dressing room?
We know he's hanging around some pretty sketchy people.
I don't know his friends. I'm not a judge. I'm just saying that Marshall Dane, can I have a big shout out to Marshall Dane, did a very good song that should be better called Bad Decisions. So I'm going to go back to this too, a little thing that doesn't excuse him. And any of his behavior. Let's put it this way. In the House That Happens, we also believe this. What good comes from guns?
Not much.
Nothing. So, John Morant, if you're listening to me and I'm trying to defend you, is that you got to put the guns away because there's a whole, and I'm not asking you to be a role model because we'll go back to Charles Barkley days. Mm-hmm. These guys do not have a responsibility to be anything but a basketball player because that's what they're paid to do.
That's right.
Okay, so let's cut this role model shit out. However, they do have a bit of a responsibility to the people that look up to them, which is I'm cutting hairs. Okay?
Sure, but like when you're kind of in the public eye, though, things change, even legally.
I want to be 23 years old with 8 of my best friends, which I don't even have 8 friends. But okay, but I would have 12 with that money. Okay, so now I want to be 23 years old, then having more money than money, which is not really true, ask Al Iverson. Mm-hmm. Going to a place with urban ballet.
Urban ballet.
Urban ballet. That's another word for like girls that dance around poles.
Oh, okay.
Okay, all right. You're going to see urban ballet, smoking some of the finest herb that's ever been grown in the history of mankind, and you did some stupid shit.
Yes.
That's an equation for that. Come on, let's do the math. 23, too much money, urban ballet, and weed. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? So, I'm just going to say this. John Morant's shoes sold out in 3 days. That's the fastest sellout since who? I believe Kobe. We're not sure. We're going to research this for the House That Happens. Wait a second, world. John Morant's shoes sold out in 3 days. That means every sneaker pimp in the country lost their minds because they went right on to all those other things. You know those people that, like my son, bless his soul, used to park in the parking lot in the morning?
Oh, yeah.
Like I have 3 buddies. They're all 3 different malls. Out there smoking weed all night waiting for the store to open so they could sneaker pimp.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So where's the juxtaposition now? You're going to throw the hammer at a guy that just sold out his shoes in 3 days? Who's buying these shoes? Criminals? Gangsters? Refugees? Terrorists? Come on, who's buying these? The average American kid that looks up to somebody that they think is a great player, correct?
100%.
So how long do you think it's going to be for John Morant to be off, do you think?
I mean, with comments like that from the commissioner, you got to think at least 40 games.
Like I said, I'm going to reference him one more time, and I could not argue.
And that's on the conservative end.
I say it should be less. I think I'm hoping it's
20. Should be and would be are different questions, though.
He's on my fantasy team, bro.
No bias here.
No
bias on the house that happens.
No, none whatsoever, okay? But I will say this. As much, and I have huge respect for this, and I couldn't deny this. When he said it, I had to shut up. When Michael Wilbon said, he's got a son, he's my age, but he's got a son that's a teenager.
Yeah.
Okay? He looked at his son and said, because I did not realize that all this trouble went down as the shoes were coming out.
Well, it makes sense because the Nike campaign started around this time, right?
Exactly. Everything went down. Now, I don't pay attention to that. Do I look like a sneaker pimp to you? My dog chewed half my shoe off. One of my shoes, my dog chewed half the laces off. Got to go to the store again. But my point being is that I'm not aware of some of the younger culture things that go on.
Sure.
Okay, I'm a little...
Neither am I.
Okay, there you go. But I'm still saying I thought it was unbelievable when I heard... Because I thought that first commercial, he was punching the clock and coming in.
Yeah.
The cars pulling in the parking lot, the surveillance cameras, the whole nine. Because I thought it was tricky using that surveillance camera in the video. Don't tell me that a marketing guy wasn't thinking about that, because I wasn't thinking about it. But the guy sold out his shoes, bro. What does that tell you? Isn't that? So I'm saying that eventually this guy could be the face of the league.
Oh, for sure.
Or dead. That's the other part I don't want to even bring up again, knocking wood for John Morant. But all we're going to say is this. In my lifetime, I only know one thing. Money changes everything.
It indeed does.
You agreed?
Yes.
And I know that the name of this show is going to be called Ruthless American Capitalism because it has affected a lot of the discussion that we have today.
Yes.
And if you don't believe that, as I'm going to go out the door, the other thing that's happening to it is, has anyone seen a gambling commercial on TV lately?
Oh, just about 1 million.
1 million?
Yes.
I thought that was a little short myself, but I'll stop at 1 million. So as we end the show, we just want to point out one thing. We're here for the competition, Mr. Milani.
We indeed are.
Are we not? We're not here for the enjoyment of the game. It's just saying in my lifetime, the evolution of the game has come down to where gambling has always been a part of it. The shoe game has been a part of it since Jordan's come around. The element of role models and star players has always been around. Mm-hmm. What has changed?
Everything and nothing at the same time.
That is absolutely the most perfect answer I could ask for, because that's just the way it is. Whether you know what it is, plus la men shows, the more that things change, the more they stay the same, from the late great Neil Peart. In any event, we're going to get out of here now because we're on a Sunday. We're not in our usual time schedule, and it's very nice outside, and my wife and my granddaughter are going to be waiting for me. We want to thank all you people who have listened to the show today. We want to say, Toronto Blue Jays, we're going to find you that left-handed power bat.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
The All-Star. Anything else you want to add, Mr. Milani?
I think that's about it.
Shout-outs to everybody that we know and love. It's been great. Hi, my name is Cruz.
And I'm Andrew Milani.
Remember, we keep the vibe alive.